You're watching the 2020 SCAC Spring Media Days. Today we're taking a look at the Johnson & Wales University men's lacrosse program. The Wildcats will once again be led as they head into the season under the guidance of head coach Kurt Ohlen, along with senior attack Nick Botnick. Coach Nick, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having us, Russell.
Thank you.
Coach, we'll open things up with you. You're heading into your fourth season there at JWU. What makes this part of the season so unique when it comes to preseason? How much do you enjoy this time of the year when it comes to kind of the preparation and the challenges of a new season?
The anticipation is great, Russell. I love getting ready for the season, prepping the players in the weight room, wall ball, getting them ready just with what new schemes we're going to try to run this year. Making sure that academics are being taken care of so they won't be a concern to us during the season, and just chomping at the bit to get going.
Nick, for you in your senior season, is there a sense of urgency as you've gone through this, your final preseason? What does it feel like? Kind of take me into your mental headspace as you get ready for a new year in your senior season.
Yeah, it's definitely exciting for sure. Knowing it's my last year, possibly that I'll even be playing lacrosse. Knowing that I got started playing lacrosse here my freshman year, it's exciting now that it's my senior, and the rest of the team's on board with being excited with me, and we're all ready to go hard this season.
Coach, we've talked in the past about the importance of continuing to recruit and bring in new athletes into this program that provide depth and strength, not only numbers-wise, but talent-wise as well. Sort of talk about your freshman class, what you've brought in this season, and what have you seen from them that kind of makes you believe that they have a chance to make an impact with this program right away?
That's a great question, Russell. The freshmen this year have brought a lot of energy into the program. We pulled in a couple of midfielders from New Jersey, a midfielder from Kentucky, goalie from Maryland, and we're looking for all of them to contribute. And so every year with these new recruiting classes, we're looking to not only improve just the depth of the team, but the lacrosse IQ, the stick skills, physical ability, just constantly looking to take a step forward in the SCAC as we become more and more of a viable lacrosse program, if you will.
Nick, as one of the senior leaders and someone in that offensive third that this team will lean on this year. Last year, the Wildcats averaged just under 3 goals per game. What have you worked on, through the course of preseason as you prepared for New Year to try and be, more productive in that offensive third heading into the season?
Fall ball. Personally, fall ball went really well for myself, and I think the rest of the team. During off season, myself and a lot of the guys have been hitting the wall a lot more than often and getting outside. Just throwing around to each other. I think, the connection between the teammates has grown a lot just in this offseason. It makes me look forward a lot to what this year has.
Coach, what's been the message during this camp? What have kind of been some themes that you've really been hammering home to your athletes as they try to build that foundation and that base for this season going into the year?
I think one of the big focal points has been just pushing ourselves to try to accomplish something beyond the scope of us as individuals, or even just focusing on being stronger than the sum of our parts. We're thin. It's a small roster, but like I said, with the freshman group and then a lot of the returning players, I feel like we do have a bit more talent to work with this year. We're stepping forward in that regard. So if we can combine those elements with hard work, with making sure we're making the best decisions we can on the field, I think that's going to put us in a better position to be successful. And it's also been a challenge for us to just continually reinforce the notion that everyone's got to have everyone else's back. With the thin roster, we can't have anyone being selfish. We can't have anyone taking any plays off. So that sort of effort is going to be paramount to any sort of success that we'll have this year.
Nick, as you've gone through preseason with your teammates, what's maybe one or two things that surprise you about this group that kind of gives you a little bit added confidence as you get ready for your senior year?
I definitely have to say the confidence in my teammates, especially the incoming freshmen. I don't know them well right now, but I do know that they're ready to play. They're excited to play lacrosse. Everybody's excited to win, and we have like more of a family feel than we have in the previous years.
Coach, I think you have a unique challenge coming into the SCAC in terms of, this league is still growing as a men's lacrosse league. We add centenary this year, but still, in terms of scheduling, there's not a lot from the conference standpoint. How do you kind of attack your overall schedule when it comes to sort of building this program, knowing that there's not a lot of, just automatic games that are on your schedule with the growing lacrosse league that we have here in the SCAC?
We have to take the games we can get, Russell, and that means a lot of travel for our program in particular. And it also means that we end up playing some D2 opponents. There's a number of D2 schools in the West that are also looking for games. They run into, I think, a lot of the same problems that we do. But we're going to travel down to the Southeast for 3 games over spring break. We travel to Michigan for a couple of games. We're down in Texas playing conference games against the University of Dallas and against Southwestern. So it's just one of those situations where we're not in a position to be terribly selective. That can result in some competitive imbalance, as last year's schedule I think should. But it's necessary, I think, to not only build our program, but to push forward lacrosse in the SCAC, which I'm really excited about. With Colorado College, Southwestern, University of Dallas, Centenary coming on board this year, I think there's a lot of promise for men's lacrosse in the SCAC, and I look forward to doing our part to help that grow.
Nick, finally to wrap things up with you, as you've had conversations with your teammates about some of the goals and expectations for this 2020 JWU men's lacrosse program, what have those conversations looked like, and what are some of the goals that you and your teammates have going into the year?
Definitely, we've focused a lot on as a team coming together and just understanding like we're a family and understanding that throughout the season that we can't be going against each other and everybody's got to be together as one. That's been a main focus with the team, other than getting into the weight room and staying on top of studies and hitting the wall as much as often.
Finally, Coach, to close things out with you, this season is successful if what plays out on the field for this team. What are you looking for from your group here as they kind of continue to take those steps forward and continue to build the program that you've looked to establish there at JWU?
I'm always reluctant to reduce it to wins and losses, Russell, but that's a key metric for us. More wins this year than we've had the previous years. But honestly, what it comes right down to is if we can grow as a program, if these players can develop throughout the year, become better players, we see that improvement on the field in terms of possession, in terms of statistical improvement in a number of categories. I think that's a great indicator of success for us. But at the end of the day, I want the experience to be positive for these guys, whatever the scoreboard says, as much as it's my desire to win, and that's how I approach every game is with the goal of winning that game. If these guys are learning and they're growing as young men, then we've been successful in what we're trying to accomplish in the grander scheme of things.
The Johnson Wales University men's lacrosse program. The Wildcats will open up the 2020 season on February 1st against Aurora under the leadership of head coach Kurt Ohlen, along with senior attack Nick Botnick. Coach, Nick, thanks so much for joining us today, and best of luck as you head into the season.
Thank you.
Thank you, Russell.